Well, I believe we do have Mordechai Vanunu with us. Mordechai, are you with us?
Yes.
Good morning. I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning there in Jerusalem.
Good morning to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mordechai Vanunu has been actually spent 18 years in Israeli jail for supposedly telling Israeli nuclear secrets. And Mordechai was, I believe, he was kidnapped. He was lured into Rome and was kidnapped there by the Israeli agents and sent back to Israel, where he spent 18 years in prison, and 11 of those years were in solitary confinement. That is true, Mordechai, right?
Yes, right.
Now, Mordechai, I have a question for you to start with. Now, what was it that you really felt that you must tell the world about? What was it about the Israeli nuclear system or program that you felt, you know, I cannot continue, I cannot remain silent, I've got to tell the world about it? What was it?
Well, the most important point is the same situation that we have now, that Israel continues to lie and cheat the world and its own citizens. Israel denied the truth, and Israel declaring that they don't have atomic weapons, and at the same time I was working and producing them. And also, at that time, Israel had more than 200 atomic weapons in 1986, and starts producing the most horrible weapons, hydrogen bomb. All this in secret and in lying, cheating the world against all citizens. So I decided it is impossible to keep these secrets. I should report and then acknowledge it and to try to stop it.
Okay. Now, what is? I mean, there's a lot of nations that do have nuclear weapons. What is it about Israel having nuclear weapons that makes you nervous?
In Israel, in this situation of the 1980s, is that Israel maybe want to use them. Israel was going to use them and can cause Holocaust, genocide on other innocent citizens like Hiroshima, Nagasaki. That was maybe Israel's secret policy. And then also, by using them, Israel maybe want to tell the Middle East, the Arab world, and the world they will not go for peace, and they will trust these atomic weapons. And by using them, making it a fact, and imposing these policies on the Arab world, and continue their own policy of occupation and no peace, and neglecting the Palestinians suffering in refugee camps under occupation for more than 50 years.
Okay. Now, one of the Israeli professors a few months ago, he said that we have nuclear capability of hitting every European city, every major European city. Is that true to your knowledge?
Israel nuclear capability now, it's true, they can hit, can create, bombard any city all over the world, not only Europe, even the United States. They can send a secret message to any state, to any leader, to any government, that they have the ability to use them against them, and to blackmail them, to blackmail Europe, United States, everywhere, every state. By this nuclear power they succeeded to build, to possess, also by the help of Europe and the United States. And now, after they have this power, they are coming back and saying, yes, we have them, and we will not receive orders, obey any orders or any international law or any international agreement or UN solutions, conclusions, because they have these atomic weapons in their hands.
Now, where do you live now, Mordechai?
Since my release in April 2004, I'm not allowed to leave the country. All this after serving 18 years. So I decided I want to be in some place that I cannot feel this as authority in the Jewish society. So I decided to stay in East Jerusalem, among Palestinians, among foreigners. So I'm staying right now in St. George Cathedral, the Anglican Church, guest house, where the bishop is staying here, and I'm not going visiting any part of Israel. I'm still here in East Jerusalem all the time, working and living among Palestinians and also under Israel occupation, because East Jerusalem is part of the occupation since 1967.
Okay. Now, you also you have converted from Judaism to Christianity. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, I have a question for you. I mean, it's not like to put you on the spot, but two things happened in your life that are profound. Number one, you felt that, I mean, to some other people, that you betrayed Israel, and you are a traitor, I'm sure, in some circuits in Israel. Now, but that's not what I'm going to ask you about. What I'm going to ask you about is, what is the process that you felt that went through your head twice in your life? One of them is when you decided to expose the Israelis' nuclear capacity, which is your country. And the second one, which is also profound change, is when you changed your religion to Christianity. Now, those two things are profound, and I don't think there's too many people in the world that has two major shifts or decisions in their lives. What made Mordechai Vanunu go after, change, number one, betray to some people, betray his country, and number two, change his religion?
Yes, a very good question and very important analysis to see all this. You are right, it's not easy, it's not usually to have these very hard conclusions shows that I did. And maybe that is the man. Why this man, me, decided to convert to Christianity, to abandon this Judaism. And this starts from very early age, since the age of 15, 16. I was growing and raised in a Jewish religion family, and Israel and Judaism is one nation, one big family, one tribe. And I decided to start criticizing and rejecting this Judaism. I think from the same point of view of these Jews are teaching to make justice according to the Judaism, and that's the same way that Jesus Christ also criticized this Judaism 2,000 years ago. I'm here since my early years start criticizing and not accepting what they teach, and later I decided to convert, to be totally abandon this Judaism and start new life, my own faith, my own way, and ready to leave this state, Israel, the Jewish nation, the Jewish tribe. One of the main reasons is the Judaism teaching that they are the only God, the chosen people, the only God, the children. They believe in racism. They believe in their superiority. the Jewish people taking literally word by word what the old Bible writing there. And I decided in this age of 2,000 years that we are enough adults and enough developed to see we have 6 billion people all around the world, and all of them are equal human beings, are equal human race, one human race in globe. There is no super race or superiority. We should respect each other and love each other. And that is the beginning of my rejecting Judaism and accepting Christianity, following Jesus Christ, and accepting humanity. I'm not a religious man. I'm not going to be a priest or preaching any religion. I did it from my humanity, from my belief. So that was my strong act, to choose my way and to be ready to criticize the Jewish faith. I didn't love or accept this Judaism who are teaching their people what to do every hour, every day. They have many orders about everything, from waking up in the morning to going to sleep. But at the same time, they are not teaching them to respect human beings, to accept non-Jews, to believe that they are human beings like them, that they are also God's chosen people. So this is Judaism is living in a very primitive 2,000 years ago of traditions, like nothing has been changed. The world has been changed, very, very big change in the last 2,000 years, and the Jewish people need to accept and understand this change, and especially if they want a democracy, if they want a state. You cannot have a state and follow it in the same way, in the same faith of 2,000 years ago, and coming to this Palestine in the name of the Bible, the name of their God, that this is the promised land that God gave them 3,000 years ago. And by this name of God, they took the land, expelled the people, and causing them hard life, cruel life, barbaric life in the last 50 years. So this God or this faith is not true, cannot be accepted and followed in this new age, new situation.
Okay.
So I decided I abandoned it and start a new direction, and this also led me later to also chose the way to go and publish Israel nuclear secrets as also another false big mistake by the Israeli people.
Okay. Mordechai, you've been living amongst the Palestinians now for a while. Tell me about the Palestinians. What do you think? Are they the terrorists that we've been hearing about?
I'm here among Palestinians in the last 15 months, but I'm following the Palestinian and understanding the situation since 1980. Now I'm here more very close, living among them, watching them, hearing them, meeting them, enjoy this life with them, and understanding much better the situation, and also realizing how Israel is succeeding to portray, give them bad image in the United States, all over the world as a terrorist. At the same time, I'm witnessing very peaceful, loving peace Palestinians.
What do you think? What do you think should happen? How do you think the Palestinian-Israeli conflict should be settled?
Well, the most important point in this conflict is if the world in Israel, the Jewish people, want a real solution, it can happen only by one way, by accepting and respecting the Palestinians as equal human beings. if Israelis want real peace, the way to peace and the proof that you want the peace is by accepting and respecting the other side's people and seeing them as equal to you. That you are not, that the Jewish are not superior or have any superiority over the Palestinians. So the only solution should be one state, one society solution, where all the people have equal right and have the same right in all the subjects. Like if the Jewish people have the right to return after 2,000 years ago, the Palestinians also have the right to return after 50 years.
Okay.
If the Jewish want a secular state, a democracy, then they should accept, respect all the people here. So the one-state solution is the best and the only good solution that could be practiced and solve all the problems. By one-state solution, you finish and all the conflict about land, and you will not have any enmity with other Arab states, and you also we don't need atomic weapons because you are accepting all the people of the Middle East. So one-state solution is the best, but it seems that the Israelis are not able to accept it because they want a Jewish state. One-state solution is a secular state for all the people, by all the people, not by any religion.
But of course, Israel will not accept that option because of demographic concerns.
Yes, that is the Israelis plan. And, that was their plan for a long time, for not accepting refugees, for now this engagement from Gaza to isolate another 1.4 million Palestinians. So the Israelis should understand if the United States want to continue to call them the only democracy in the Middle East, in this democracy they should respect and accept all the human beings.
What do you think of the Gaza withdrawal?
The Gaza withdrawal was a big propaganda exporting images to all the world how the Jewish was forced to abandon their land, but they forget that this land was occupied, that this land was a Palestinian land, that this land had been already taken from other people before. So they used it for brainwashing the United States, especially to let them see how they are suffering, these Jewish. But in secret, the target also was to isolate it, 1.4 million Palestinians. The demographic question is very strong in the mind of the Jews, and they decide to get right from this part of Gaza and to say this is the future Palestinian state. This very, very small land will be the future of Palestinian state. And at the same time, the Israel government, Sharon, continue to build and isolate the Palestinians here in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, with more settlements and big wall, continue to build and confiscating land. That is the situation now.
Okay. Back in 1999, 35 members of Congress have written to President Clinton a letter concerning you. And when he responded to that letter, he said, I share your concern about the Vanunu's plight. I share your concern about the Israeli nuclear program. We have repeatedly urged Israel to adhere to the treaty and accept comprehensive international atomic energy safeguards and inspections. To your knowledge, has the Israeli nuclear sites ever been inspected by the International Nuclear Agency?
No, it never operated for international inspections.
Atomic energy. What do you think? Why are we after Iran to open up its doors for inspections, and North Korea and everybody else in the world, but no one is asking Israel to open its doors for inspections? Why do you think that is?
Well, that is the very strange situation that has been developed and accepted by the Western states since the 60s. It's a very long way policy, about 40 years. Since 1960, all the world ignored what the Israelis started doing in this nuclear field, and they continue to do the same until now, especially by United States. One of the main reasons is they are blaming any state that it's not a real democracy. They are not accepting the other government systems. They say it is not a democracy, but at the same time, they think Israel is a democracy. They trust it, and they let them have atomic weapons, ignoring what they have, and not letting other states like Iran, Iraq in the past, and now also North Korea. So that is the situation. My view is this Europe in the United States is under a heavy, long-time blackmail by the Israeli authorities. By their Holocaust history, they are reminding them the Holocaust, Jewish Holocaust history, and blaming them for it, and taking out the price for it by having atomic weapons, and forcing them to deal for the state instead of Israel. Also because Israel now already have atomic weapons, and they have the most modern, advanced atomic weapons.
Do you know how many atomic bombs they have?
I come out in 1986 and revealed to the world that they have more than 200 atomic weapons, that they are able to produce every year about 40 kilogram plutonium that is enough for 10 atomic bombs each year. So Israel is capable of producing more than 10 atomic weapons every year. So until 1986 they could have 200 atomic weapons. Since 1986, if they want, they could have another 200, so they can have now 400 atomic weapons.
But I mean, in your opinion, who can they use those nuclear weapons on?
The target of Israel is to use them against Arab states.
Now, how real you think that threat is?
It's very, very real. It's very, very close. It's easy. It's simple. All what they need is a crazy leader in the government, and maybe they will use it one day, sooner or later, to let the world see it very clear and powerful, and force the world to let them have this racist apartheid state by the Jewish people, and not accept any other solution, and continue to reject any real solution for the Palestinian people.
Now, what is your situation? You have a trial coming up soon?
My situation now is they renew these restrictions for second year. Every year the restriction is for 1 year, not to leave the country and not to speak to foreigners. I'm not allowed to speak to you. But I decided to speak, so I'm speaking since my release, giving interviews. They come arrested me on November 11 and questioned me, and now they put me in a trial for these interviews. So I'm facing a trial that started 3 weeks ago and will continue next year on January. They are accusing me for giving interviews to foreign media, and also I'm not allowed to go to the occupied territories, so I try to go to Bethlehem. That is the situation now. I'm facing trial and under restrictions.
So, in other words, you will be getting in trouble for speaking with us tonight?
No, it's already now that I'm speaking, so they will have another program to accuse me of speaking and giving a lot of interviews. That is another one.
Okay. Mordechai, I want to thank you for being with us, and it has been a very informative interview, and I just want to say thank you again and good luck to you.
Thank you very much, And good luck to you and to your audience there. And I hope one day we'll be there in the United States soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mordechai Vanunu, former Israeli nuclear scientist, who basically told the world what was happening in Israel. And it is it's interesting that last time we talked with Michael Collins Piper, who wrote the book Final Judgment, and it was mainly about the assassination of JFK, the president who was assassinated back in 1962, I believe. And what happened is he is saying, Michael Piper is saying that the Mossad had some to do with it. Actually, he proved that they had some to do with it. And what I had asked Mordechai about in 1999, if you remember, you know, President Clinton was the first president to say something about the publicly about the Israeli nuclear deal. And what happened when he mentioned, he said, he wrote a letter to Representative Lynn Rivers, a Democrat from Michigan. He said, I share your concerns about about Vanunu's plight, and I share your concerns about the Israeli nuclear program. We have repeatedly urged Israel and other parties to the Non-Proliferation Treaty to adhere to the treaty and accept comprehensive international atomic energy agency safeguards. So we have talked. Actually, Clinton spoke publicly about that we do need to know something about the Israeli nuclear